I'm going to read an excerpt from my work in progress, a YA novel about a girl named Caroline forced to examine the 5 primary female relationships in her life as they are falling apart. The monkey bars of Minor Memorial Park remind me of dinosaur bones, the rickety remnants of something I will never see in its prime. They are rusty and unsafe, a place we were banned from playing as children, warned of broken necks and tetanus. So naturally, Ruby is atop it, looking down at me. She has a cigarette between the first 2 fingers of her right hand. Even from the ground, I see red smudges on the filter. The color is called jailbait, a name Ruby laughed at when we found it on the wall of overpriced lipsticks at the mall. I kept lookout as she tucked it into her bra, the black and gold tube nestled between the padded cup and the freckled skin of her chest. In a week, she won't care about it anymore, tossing it into the drawer, holding other ill-gotten treasures. But until then, I will never see her full lips without an artful application of jailbait. Come on up, Ruby says, knowing I won't, smoke curling around her head. For some reason, all I can think about is the summer we were 5 and watched Alice in Wonderland every afternoon after lunch. I hated the caterpillar. Ruby loved the Cheshire cat. No thanks, I say, sinking onto the scrub grass and dirt, folding my legs. When Nan forced me to go to Sunday school, they called it crisscross applesauce. But the entire time I was supposed to be learning how to be the perfect little Catholic, I obsessed over whether Ruby was having fun without me. Even then, I knew life mattered more when I was with Ruby. I wait for her to say something. Instead, she keeps smoking, deep drags and heavy exhalations, the white noise of our youth. A black ant begins to scale my tan thigh, traversing the stretch marks like its own personal highway. I flick it away and try to tug last year's shorts farther down my thighs. I am so fucking sick of this place, Ruby says, tossing away her cigarette. Well, school starts in 2 weeks, I remind her. Ruby glares. Are you trying to get me to kill myself? It's a 5-foot drop to the ground. You'll sprain your ankle at most. She shakes her head at me, irritated I'm not playing along. Bracing her hands against 2 bars, Ruby slips her narrow hips between them, sending herself backwards towards the ground. If I hadn't watched her do this 100 times before, I would have gasped or jumped to help. Instead, I pluck a wilting dandelion from the grass and watch as Ruby's strong legs catch her, suspending her upside down like a possum. Even like this, she is sublime, all porcelain skin and deceptive placidity. I once compared Ruby to a swan, which she loved, not understanding I meant she was a beautiful asshole. Her tank top falls up, revealing a polka-dotted bra, the kind of cute underwear not available on my grandparents' budget. I've seen Ruby in her underwear thousands of times, but I look away now. We should go to the lake, Ruby says, swinging upside down, the ancient structure swaying with her. I smirk. Even steel bends to Ruby's will. I pop the head off the dandelion. Sure. Ruby extends her arms, bracing her hands against the earth. She unhooks her legs, bringing them down in a slow, graceful motion, the gold medalist of jungle gymnastics. My one and only attempt to mimic the confidence Ruby has in her body left me with stones embedded in my knees. If you slide your fingers over the scars there, you'll feel a tiny pebble left behind, childhood shrapnel Nan couldn't remove with tweezers and an impatient hand. You look different today, Ruby announces. It is not an observation. It's an accusation. There has always been a tacit agreement between us, starting in her plastic turtle sandbox, that while she gets to transform into anyone she likes, I must remain constant. It is exhausting to be someone's North Star. Thank you.